Hi there, I'm Brad Thompson from RealWay Success Property Consultants. Today I'm here with Fabian. She's our property manager and we're here to talk to you about things you should know when renting your property. But first, let's go to Kevin Turner for this month's property update.
Well, thank you. Well, while there's no doubt in my mind that this is still very much a buyer's market, there are signs that the negotiation power base is beginning to shift from the buyer to the seller, in some price ranges at least. I talk to agents all over Australia and I'm continually hearing mixed feedback about buyer activity. I did some research to see if there's a common thread, and there is. It appears that if you're looking for property and you fit the demographic of the area, well, there's every chance that you're going to be in competition with other buyers, so you may not be able to negotiate too hard. And that, to my way of thinking, signals a shift. Competition between buyers on a property may just translate into you having to pay full asking price. Just a month ago, agents were telling me that the typical negotiation level, that is the difference between the asking price and the eventual selling price, was up to 10% and in some areas as high as 15%. Well, that's no longer the case. The hottest price range, it appears, is around about property up to $500,000. That's all for now. I'll see you next time.
Thanks heaps, Kevin. Now we have Fabian from our property management team.
Pleasure, Brad. Good to see you.
We're here to talk about property management. What are some of the most important things about property management that a landlord should be aware of to maximise their return, I guess?
Yes, I guess it's very interesting, your question. I just had lunch with a landlord and his name is Luis, and from his point of view, the most important is that he receives his money on time, on a regular basis, meaning not all over the place, but always at the same date. It's very important for him to know if his tenants are paying their rent on time or not, because if he doesn't receive his money on time, he will want to know. Yep. Very important for him as well to know about the maintenance of his property. Yep. Because as you probably understand, a property that is well maintained doesn't lose value. Yep. And one day a landlord may want to sell his property as well. So we need to make sure that the property manager always checks the maintenance level on a property.
I guess what you're saying, and what this gentleman's saying, is to be organised and efficient.
Yes, organised and efficient, and to be efficient as well can be relatively simple if we just follow the Residential Tenancy Act. Basically, it's a benchmark, it's a guideline to do the job as a property manager. So a good knowledge of the legislation that surrounds the job of a property manager makes the job a lot easier.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm really impressed with you. You read the Act right from the start when you first came to work with RealWay, and you're really on top of the legislation. I think that's very important, and your knowledge is very, very strong.
I think I like it. I think legislation may appear to be difficult at first sight, the first time you look at the legislation and the Act, but once you read it once, twice, it really becomes easy. And the more you know the legislation, the easier the job. So I think that's important. The reward is, if you know well the legislation, your job becomes easier. Yeah. And that's a reward.
And so, with the approval process, how do you go about that? What's your method?
The approval, basically we usually ask that the tenant inspect the property so that they feel happy about it. Then they can apply, of course. We've got an application that is over 4 pages. The application is, for me, very important to test the tenant in terms of, is the tenant a trustworthy person? Is that person going to pay their rent on time? Yep. Is that person going to take care of the property? Is that person going to report maintenance issue on time? We check all the reference, we check where they work, we check people who know them, what they have got to say about a prospective tenant. It's very important that we understand very well a tenant so we can trust them, because at the end of the day we may put 500,000 property within their hand. Yep. To take care every day. So it's very important that we feel confident about the tenant that's going to move inside the property.
Yep. And what's the process? Just say if a tenant doesn't conform with what you want. Or what? Sorry, not what you want, but what their obligations are.
Again, it's where the process could be seen as simple because we go back to the legislation and the legislation tells us exactly what to do and when. So basically it's a question of following up the act and just do what I have to do in regards of what the legislation is telling me, what paperwork to use and when to lodge the paper.
Right.
Usually I would start to speak with the tenant because a lot of things are minor issues which if I've got a good relationship with tenant, which I always try to create a good business relationship, because if there is a little problem, it's so much easier to resolve with good communication with the tenant.
That's good, yeah. And what about with a maintenance issue? What's your process there?
Maintenance issue, usually if it's something very simple, I just, of course I'm going to speak to my landlord, but if it's just a tap leaking, very easy, you send a plumber and the plumber is going to repair. Things that are a bit more difficult to understand what is really the problem with it, I will go on site and check it, okay? Yeah. I think overall I've got a good understanding of maintenance of a home because I used to maintain a property myself. So I will go on site, try to understand what is the issue so I can speak with knowledge to the tradesperson. Of course, talk to the landlord as well, get some quotes, give the quotes to the landlord. The landlord may ask more questions to the tradesperson. We try to really understand well what is the issue to fit the best solution.
With landlord protection insurance, do you strongly suggest that a landlord invest in?
Yes, I strongly recommend that landlords get their own insurance because even though I can do everything I'm being asked to do following the legislation, everything is done on time using the correct form, there are still situations where we may end up in court. I may win the case, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's too expensive for a landlord to try to make sure that the court order is respected, because that would involve solicitor's fee to make sure that the court order is enforced. So sometimes it's a lot easier just to claim for the insurance.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
It's very informative. Calling all businesses now who are looking to move. We have these exciting premises at 639 Wynnum Road, Morningside, about 6 to 7 kilometres to the Brisbane city. It's got a lot of scope. There's a lot of people that walk past here, a lot of people that drive past here, a lot of people that live around this area. It was formerly 2 shops. One shop was 62 square metres, the other one was 84. It has been formerly a real estate agency. We've got some good designers available that can help with retail shop design and maximise the benefits of your commercial space. Yep. Wow, what a great feature property. For any information on today's show or the feature property, please give us a call on the office number, which is 3396 1199, or do visit our website www.realway.com.au/Wynnum Manly. I'm Brad Thompson. Thanks for viewing. Have a great day.